What's up, guys? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty. It's time to get into round 6. Let's take a look at the games. We got the first one on Friday night, big game, and I think this is a big game in more ways than one. First, second on the ladder, North Melbourne versus the Western Bulldogs, Etihad Stadium tonight, 7:40, I think, 7:50 actually. So North have no changes after they haven't had changes for the last few weeks. They've just been winning and winning and winning. 5 weeks in a row, no injuries yet, so they're going pretty well for injuries. The Dogs, Fletcher Roberts comes in for Suckling and goes out with that ankle. It's probably a 2 to 3 week Suckling's ankle. I know I said on the... Anyway. So this is a big game. Can North Melbourne sustain their unbeaten run, or can the Dogs overcome their injury issues here is kind of what the argument's going to be. And I think Friday Night Football, the biggest stage of them all, and North Melbourne will be wanting a big crowd here. It's their home game. They would want a ton of people to rock up because they want Good Friday footy next year. And, if they don't get a good crowd in, then they're probably not going to have a great argument for getting that match next year, although I still think they'll get it anyway. But for me, I think this is going to be down to how well those blokes in the Bulldogs backline can sort of work. And I'm talking about Easton Wood, Adcock, and Boyd. They're really the three that, are going to play that high half back role with sort of these guys out of the team. I think their forward line's kind of fine. Stringer, Dalhouse, Dixon, they're going to kick goals regardless. As far as I'm aware, yep, Dixon's the team, yeah. So they're going to kick goals. It's just how well their defence can hold up, because North Melbourne have one of the strongest forward lines in the comp with their 3 talls. I don't think any team plays a better 3 tall lineup than North Melbourne with Petrie, Waite and Ben Brown. So it's going to be very difficult for... I'm going to tip the Dogs. I really want the Bulldogs to win this game, but I'm not actually sure if tipping them is the wisest decision. North's won 5 on the trot. Can they make it 6? You know what? Let's back them in. Let's say North Melbourne are going to win this week. I never tip North Melbourne. I've probably missed all 5 of their wins this year. So, picking North Melbourne tonight, I think that maybe just they will beat the Bulldogs at Etihad Stadium, because it's both their home ground, so it doesn't really hold any advantage for anyone. But just the North Melbourne. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I'll probably change my tip 3 or 4 times throughout the day anyway. Next game, Crows, Freo at the Adelaide Oval. No changes for Adelaide. Mackay is playing his 150th game. And Mundy comes in, as well as Blakely for the Dockers. But Fife and Johnson come out with a hamstring. Freo, they're not going well already. And, when you've got people like Matt Fife leaving, or like, getting injured and not playing, and Michael Johnson, who is really their only strong super defender down back now that there's no McFarlane, they are going downhill. They're going to lose this game very, very badly. I'm thinking 60 plus points at a minimum here. They're going to be 0-6, and I know it's going to make a lot of people very happy. So the Crows easily at Adelaide Oval. Next game is an interesting one. We got Melbourne and St Kilda. Melbourne, I still don't believe they're going to make the 8. I think they're only going to get 8 to 10 wins at the end of this season, but they're playing some reasonably good football. Watched them last week firsthand. They were very good over the back, and had some very strong presences down forward. Jack Watts he's a new player. He is nowhere near the way he's been the last 4 or 5 years. He's a gun at the moment anyway, and he just looks like he's going to kick a goal whenever he gets near the football. So, my big thing this week is Petracca is actually playing. Paul Roos, I saw the little video, he was just like, I know it's been hard for us to find a spot for you in our team, but we found one, and you're going to be playing your first game this week. And I was like, yes, Roosie, you jet. So Angus Brayshaw gets submitted. Petracca comes into the debut. He's number 2 pick in the 2014 draft. So last year would have been his first season. Gun player in the VFL. I hope he does really well. Obviously, just for my Supercoach team, of course. But I think he's going to be a very good player. For the Saints, Gresham, Membry, and Akers come in. Tom Lee, Paddy McCartan has been rested. And Jack Loney has also been dropped as well. So, it's at Etihad. Melbourne haven't had a great record over there. They haven't actually beaten St Kilda since 2009. This is a game they probably would drop last year. I think Melbourne are going to win this game, and they're going to, St Kilda have been very competitive though this season, don't get me wrong, so it would not surprise me if St Kilda pull up an upset here, but I do think Melbourne in a very close game, I'm hoping anyway. The next game, there's so many big games this week. Next game at the Giants, Spotless Stadium, Twilight Saturday, playing the Hawks. Reece Palmer comes in for Devon Smith, that's not good for the Giants. But they do have Cameron down the forward line. Anyway, and then the Hawks, Lovell and Howe come in for Langford, and Billy Hartung's been omitted. Langford with the corked quad. So Kieran Lovell could make his debut for the Hawks. I don't know if that's his debut in the AFL, but I believe that the GWS Giants are going to win this game. And they beat the Hawks at Spotless last year. I think they're going to do it again. Just look at their back line. Heath Shaw, Phil Davis, two of the best in the comp right now. And you look at their forward line, Jeremy Cameron, Toby Green was running right last week, and Jono Patton. Like, between those two guys, Cameron kicked 5 goals last week and he missed a month of football. I worry what he's going to do to sides now that he's back in actually playing, and they got Lobb who goes in there as well, so it's just all sorts of riots that they're going to run, I think, in the coming years, if it's not this year. But I think the Giants could make the 8, that bottom half of the 8, and I think they're going to beat the Hawks. Hawks haven't been convincing the last few weeks, but they've just found a way to win. Not going to happen this week. Free kick Hawthorn, but the Giants are going to win. Saturday night footy at the G, Richmond, Port Adelaide. I'm going. I need some friends, so if you want to go, hit me up. Delidio and Hampson come in. Big in Brett Delidio. Big out Alex Rance through suspension. Townsend also omitted. And for Port Adelaide, wow, the changes are just everywhere. Impey, Dougal Howard, Archie, Cracker, and Pollock come in. And listen to the outs here. Trengove suspended, Amon omitted, Alobi omitted, Robbie Gray with a hamstring, and Wingard with concussion. Huge just calamity of injuries everywhere. These are two teams that cannot be doing any worse at this time of year. But I think at the MCG, Richmond are going to win this week. No Rance is going to be a little bit of an issue. Dave Asprey did it a couple years ago, played down back very well when Rance was not playing. I hope he's going to be able to do that again. Chaplin will probably play on Westhoff as they usually do, square off in both the forward line and the back line. And I just think Richmond, last week they showed signs. Last week was probably the best game I've seen them play for the season. I know you guys are like, but they lost to Melbourne. They actually looked a little bit more dangerous going forward with the ball, but it's going to be interesting to see. Jack Reward, is he 100%? Sam Lloyd kicks 3 goals every week. Just keep him in the side. He's a very strong player in that forward line. And Brett Delidio, I have a statistic here. I will go get that statistic. So I got a statistic from last night's league teams on Fox Footy. They showed that Richmond's winning rate through 2014 to 2016 without Brett Delidio, they're 3 wins, 12 losses. It's 20% of the games that they actually win. And with Brett Delidio, they are 25-11, a 70% win rate. Oh my god, that's nuts. They're going to win purely because of the Delidio factor. Richmond just can't play without him. I don't know what it is that Brett brings to the team. But definitely with him playing, he will be a huge asset to that side. He's probably one of those damaging kicks. He runs, he carries, and he kicks the ball forward. I think that's what Richmond's been missing. Bachar Hawley hasn't been doing it as well this season. Delidio might be doing it now. And we're still waiting on Yaron to come back. But you can't judge Richmond because they're missing Yaron because he hasn't played for the team ever. So definitely Richmond in probably a close game. I think maybe 3 goals would be. I'd be happy with a 3-goal win. Yeah, very good. All right, Gold Coast Suns and Geelong at Skilled Stadium. I said it the wrong way around. Henderson and Buse come in. He got managed last week, Henderson. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. And they're managing another player this week, Tom Ruggles, Geelong. And Gregson has been omitted. For the Suns, it is injury central once again. I thought they said Prestia wasn't going to play, but he has been named in the side. Shade, Davis, and Mackenzie Willis, as well as Dion Prestia, has been the ins. But the outs are pretty bad. Adam Saad, huge run and carry player in the back line. They're going to miss him. Luke Russell's been omitted, and Riscatelli with a shoulder. That's a big out. And Archie has been omitted. I think the Delidio stat's pretty similar to the Gold Coast with the Gary Ablett stat. But I think that the Geelong Cats are going to win this by a big one. They were in some very good form. The Gold Coast Suns are not in any good form at all. They lost to Brisbane, and they dropped another game to North Melbourne last week, which you thought they would have bounced back. Tom Lynch, still the best forward in the competition right now. He is going to be very good, and if they want to win well, Geelong, they're going to have to keep him quiet, because he's my pick for the Coleman. I said it about 4 weeks ago, and now he's leading by about 4 goals. Next game, Sunday games, the Lions and the Swans. Brisbane have Mays, Keys, Robertson, and Nick Robertson. Okay. Daniel McStay and Billy Evans come in. Cutler and Green come out. Obviously, a couple more guys to get omitted from that side. Alir comes in for the Swans. Jack Hiscox, Zach Jones, Tommy Dan Curvis, and Ted Richards out with a cheekbone after he had a very, very good game last week. Hanbury's playing his 150th game. Lewis Taylor's playing his 50th. Stephen Martin's playing his 100th. Potential debuts for Alir and Jack Hiscox, although I'm pretty sure Alir is going to play. They're both on the bench, so they could be omitted. Not quite sure with that one yet. Sydney are going to win by a long way. They are a very good side. Should finish in the top 4. There's about 6 teams that can finish in the top 4. There's about 10 teams that can finish at the 8 at this present time. So, very close right now. Very close competition. And if we move on to Sunday, let's not go to Twilight. We'll go to Carlton v Essendon. Let's go to the MCG. Armfield, Graham, Dennis comes in. Armfield, Nick Graham, Simon White, Michael Jamison is back, maybe. And Jason Tutt come into that side. Dylan Buckley with a calf injury, and Charlie Curnow is ill, so he will not be playing. Obviously, they're all on the bench, extended bench here, so they may or may not be playing. For the Bombers, Crowley, Simpkin, and Polkinghorne come in. May not be playing. They're all on the bench. Polkinghorne could make his debut for the Bombers. And the Blues, they beat Fremantle last week. I didn't see it coming, and this is a really close game here. This is like the secondary battle for the Wooden Spoon. So both teams got wins under their belts. Who's going to get another one? I think Carlton. I think they can win 2 in a row. Essendon will want to bounce back from last week, but I think just Carlton. Who knows if what's his name up forward? What is it? Liam Jones. If Liam Jones can kick the winning goal again this week, Carlton have had a magnificent season. I think that pretty much sums up Fremantle's season, but Carlton, I think they're going to win. I somehow think they're going to win. Yeah. Anyway, final game of the round, the Eagles and the Pies. Lysette, Cole, Hutchings, and McGinnity come in. McInnes comes out. And for the Pies, Varco with the hamstring goes out. Langdon, Goodyear, Sinclair, and Broomhead come in. Obviously, omissions to come as a Sunday squad. So this will be the Sunday Twilight game for everyone. And I think West Coast at home, they're a very damaging side at home, and they will definitely beat Collingwood, who weren't super impressive last week. They were very good in the first half, sort of dropped off in the second half, and they'll be disappointed with that non-4-quarter effort. But West Coast lost to the Swans last week. They'll bounce back. They'll beat the Pies, and it'll be a good game. So thank you so much for watching today's video. My tips are on screen right now. Let me know why I'm wrong. Leave a big thumbs up if you did enjoy today's video, and let me know what you're doing in the comments section below. I don't know why I said that, but thank you so much. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.